It would have been much worse if one had gone very well, and had been picked, and then the horse had gone lame. That would have been much worse.
And it's a huge advantage if you have somebody who can be recognised as that, and not just in your country, but around the world.
Princess Anne and Prince William have finally broken their silence regarding King Charles, and their shocking revelations are turning heads. For decades, both Anne and William stayed completely focused on their duties, avoiding the endless cycle of royal family drama, but now, with King Charles sitting right at the centre of massive public scrutiny, they are dropping unexpected truth bombs about his reign. What finally pushed Princess Anne and Prince William to break their silence right now, and what exactly did they expose about King Charles to get everyone talking? Join us as we dig deep into this unfolding royal family drama, exploring the tense and evolving relationship between Charles, Anne and William. Princess Anne has always been the most reliable anchor for the crown, famous for her strictly no-nonsense attitude and unwavering dedication to her royal duties. Unlike other members of the family who often take breaks from the intense public spotlight, Anne never retreats from her grueling schedule. Her intense commitment shines right through her packed calendar as she constantly clocks the highest number of public appearances every single year. Her reputation as the ultimate stabiliser has only grown, but behind closed doors, Princess Anne has privately voiced some very strong opinions about King Charles, showing a side of her that the public almost never gets to see. She spoke candidly about the intense, unique obstacles her brother is facing while trying to adjust to his demanding new role. While they remain close, Anne is definitely not holding back when it comes to calling out internal problems or questioning the monarchy's future direction. Stick around to hear how this unfolds, because as one of Charles's most trusted confidants, Anne's sharp insights offer a rare window into the quiet struggles and crushing expectations weighing on the new king. Her brutally honest views reflect a whole lifetime of dedication to her brother and the throne, but they also expose her deep anxieties about the institution's rocky future, especially with the heavy pressures mounting on Charles, and his grand vision for the crown's long-term legacy. And while Princess Anne stands by her brother, Prince William, Charles's eldest son, is also stepping directly into a massive role loaded with intense pressure and global expectation. From his childhood, William always knew he was destined to be king, but now, with King Charles dealing with major health battles and relentless public drama, the pressure on William to step up has skyrocketed. He finds himself constantly trying to juggle his heavy responsibilities as the new Prince of Wales, while simultaneously serving as the primary anchor for his struggling father and the entire royal family. He is actively working to drag the monarchy's image into the modern age, focusing heavily on critical issues like mental health support, climate change, and local community service. His progressive vision shows he wants to keep the crown relatable to the modern world, a style that completely separates him from old-school kings. This ongoing crisis has forced him to walk a very thin line between honouring the traditional ways his father firmly protects and pushing the modern, progressive values he wants to introduce when he eventually takes the throne. Watching Aunt Anne's tireless work ethic also helps William understand the true value of family loyalty within the crown. Their shared commitment to the throne heavily reinforces their personal bond, even as they face the brutal public pressures of their prominent royal roles. This close alliance perfectly highlights the palace's evolving struggles as they both prepare for heavy duties in a rapidly changing world. Shifting our focus to Princess Anne's fierce defence of her brother King Charles, their tight-knit connection is playing a massive role in handling the ongoing storms inside the royal family. Raising themselves under the palace spotlight, they endured endless public scrutiny and all the heavy, unrealistic expectations forced upon them by the crown. This decades-long history of shared struggle has built a powerful, unbreakable trust between the two, with Anne frequently stepping up as his main voice of reason. Her blunt honesty allows her to deliver the unfiltered harsh truth Charles desperately needs to hear, especially as he grapples with the immense stress of being king. They have very different personalities, with Anne's practical focus contrasting with Charles's highly emotional style, but their sibling connection is deeply rooted in absolute lifelong respect. Anne's decades of non-stop dedication to official royal duties has given her invaluable wisdom that helps guide Charles through this chaotic transition period. Now, with King Charles fighting ongoing health issues alongside the heavy pressures of his newly acquired crown, Anne's strong, fierce support is more critical than ever. As Charles struggles to settle into his seat on the throne, he relies heavily on his sister's vast experience and absolute loyalty. Together they show a strong mix of old-school tradition and modern survival, carefully balancing official duties with a deep understanding of their individual strengths. This powerful solidarity does not just comfort Charles, it also proves the family's absolute dedication to preserving the royal legacy through highly turbulent times. To truly understand this deep connection between Princess Anne and King Charles III, we have to look closer at Anne's remarkable life, which is easily the most fascinating story. Princess Anne's journey is defined by incredible resilience, pure dedication, and a constant, highly complex balancing act between royal duty and her own personal. Born on August 15, 1950, the sole daughter of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip, she grew up in the public eye, in a chaotic era of massive change for the British monarchy, living as the spirited younger sibling to Charles. At first she was third in line to the throne, but her younger brothers and their children eventually pushed her down the line, all thanks to the old male preference succession laws of that era. Growing up, Princess Anne was always known as incredibly strong, willed and fiercely independent. These stubborn traits quickly set her apart within the royal family. Tutored at Buckingham Palace and Benenden School, Anne started official royal duties as a teenager, proving her family's deep commitment to service. While she remained close to Charles, their personal paths drifted apart drastically as they grew up. Charles the heir was groomed for the crown, while Anne quietly carved out a very different path for herself. She focused on tireless public service, completely free from the heavy pressure of ever inheriting the throne. And one of her absolute proudest triumphs was her professional equestrian career. Even as a child, she showed serious talent in the saddle, a lifelong passion fueled by her father, Prince Philip, who was an avid athlete himself. Anne soon dominated major international arenas, taking home a gold medal at the 1971 European Eventing Championships. She made history as the very first British royal to compete in the Olympic Games riding in the 1976 Montreal Games. Her grit in the intense equestrian world proved her raw toughness, instantly transforming her into a respected sports star completely separate from her royal title. Yet despite her victories, Anne struggled heavily with public opinion, especially during her early youth. She gained the reputation of a cold, deeply private royal, eventually earning her the brutal nickname, her royal rudeness. Her blunt, no-nonsense attitude and sharp tongue did not sit well with the ruthless British press. Yet this exact raw authenticity is what eventually made her one of the most reliable, hard-working figures in the monarchy. Anne's ability to brush off harsh criticism highlights the highly pragmatic, realistic approach she shares with Charles, even though their unique personalities and public images remained completely distinct. Now, looking at Princess Anne's scandalous personal life, her private world was always defined by intense high-profile relationships and quiet heartbreak, starting with her marriage to Captain Mark Phillips in 1973. At first the union seemed solid, and they had 2 children, Peter and Zara. But behind closed doors their marriage crumbled, and by the late 1980s they officially separated and their messy divorce was finalised in 1992, exposing the painful struggles Anne faced behind the palace walls, as she tried to balance her own happiness with demanding royal duties. Later, Anne remarried, choosing Sir Timothy Lawrence, a handsome naval officer and former royal equerry, marking a beautiful new start. This supportive husband provided the deep, quiet companionship that fueled Anne's lifelong commitment to her royal duties, even as she faced relentless invasive media, attacks, and the heavy burden of being in the spotlight. Yet, through it all, Princess Anne has kept up an incredibly brutal schedule of royal duties. Year after year, she is named the hardest working member of the royal household, routinely crushing over 500 public engagements every single year. This fierce work ethic makes her an indispensable presence inside the palace walls. She pours most of her energy into major charities, including her famous decades-long work, with Save the Children serving as their passionate president for 47 years before finally transitioning to the role of patron. Anne's relentless efforts also reached deeply into many different areas, from education and healthcare to crucial disability rights and military groups. Her massive efforts earned global recognition, such as her 1990 nomination for the Nobel Peace Prize put forward by Zambian President Kenneth K for her tireless charity work. These key roles prove her deep drive to create real positive change without ever seeking the limelight. This fierce work ethic has served as a shining template for the next generation of royals, including her brother King Charles III, who shares her passion for charitable causes. But the most dramatic, heart-stopping moment of Anne's life was surviving a terrifying, highly dangerous kidnapping attempt in 1974. While returning to Buckingham Palace, her car was ambushed and her armed captor threatened her at gunpoint. Her legendary defiant response, allegedly shouting at the gunman, "Not bloody," likely when he ordered her out of the vehicle, showed her unbelievable bravery. This terrifying ordeal, rather than breaking her spirit, only seemed to strengthen her lifelong commitment to her royal duties, proving she was easily one of the absolute toughest figures in the monarchy. Furthermore, her complex relationship with her mother, Queen Elizabeth II, and her father, Prince Philip, also played a massive role in shaping her stubborn life and outlook. Anne always shared a remarkably close bond with Philip, whom she praised as a truly remarkable man. His core values of resilience, duty, and a down-to-earth approach were deeply stamped on her character, shaping her tireless work and public profile. Princess Anne was constantly viewed as being very much her father's own daughter because of her blunt, practical nature, yet she also inherited her mother's deep, quiet sense of duty and service, even if her connection with her parents rarely showed any outward displays of affection. She maintained an intense loyalty, and when her aging father began facing tough health and physical struggles, Anne stayed constantly by his side, supporting him while assisting her mother. She stepped up, taking on heavy duties to show her devotion to both of them. Years later, following her father's death, and as her mother's own health began to fail, Anne served as a steady pillar of comfort and quiet strength for Queen Elizabeth. Following the Queen's passing, Anne made sure to honour her. Their legacy of hard work and a lifetime of public service principles that had been deeply rooted in her character since early childhood. Her deep connection with both parents was firmly anchored in shared duty and mutual respect, leaving a profound impact on her character and her vital position within the royal house. In the wake of the loss of Queen Elizabeth II, the British monarchy entered a volatile era of challenges and massive changes. What really triggered these unprecedented trials? Stay with us as we unpack this. Princess Anne and Prince William quickly rose as central figures each, representing a very different yet complementary style of steering the crown into the future. Renowned for her steadfast dedication and practicality, Anne offered a highly grounded presence, while Prince William championed a completely fresh perspective on how to make the royal family feel far more relatable today. In a rare interview with Canadian broadcaster CBC News, Princess Anne gave a blunt, unfiltered take on the Crown's real role and value. She focused heavily on the vital need for continuity, arguing that the throne offers true stability in a world that feels utterly chaotic. This reliable stability, she insisted, remains one of the Crown's greatest lasting benefits, even while acknowledging the need for ongoing debates about the royal family's relevance. She made it absolutely clear she believes the institution still holds an essential place in modern British society. Speaking candidly about her brother King Charles III, she famously remarked that people know exactly what they are getting with him as king. In her view, Charles represents a direct continuation of traditional royalty rather than any sudden dramatic shift. Regarding the complicated ties that bind Anne William and Charles the Princess Royal, also tackled the controversial idea of a slimmed-down monarchy, a cost-cutting move her brother had long favoured. Anne admitted this particular strategy might have made far more sense when there were plenty of active royals around to handle public duties. But currently, with so few active working members left in the family, she openly questioned whether it remained a truly practical plan. Renowned herself as easily one of the hardest working royals, Princess Anne routinely clocks up more official public appearances than nearly any other family member, proving a deep level of devotion that has earned her widespread respect among the British public. For Anne, serving the Crown is simply what she does, entirely free of fuss or fanfare. She is famous for recycling decades-old dresses, styling her own hair, and even tending to her farm chickens in full makeup while remaining a fierce supporter of the establishment. Meanwhile, Prince William, stepping up as future king, represents the Crown's potential for modern survival. Over the years, the Prince of Wales has steadily taken on heavy responsibilities to prepare himself for the throne. He and his wife, Catherine, the Princess of Wales, have actively worked to make the royal family far more approachable, focusing on issues that resonate with younger generations. They raise their 3 children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, in a remarkably grounded environment, especially when compared to previous royal generations. By opting for a more modest home at Adelaide Cottage, they signalled a real commitment to a lifestyle that truly connected with the public. This strategic approach reflected their firm belief that for the monarchy to remain relevant, it simply had to adapt and connect directly with ordinary people's everyday lives. Throughout this recent period of transition, Anne and William's roles grew far more visible and significant. Anne's tireless dedication and William's modern vision offered a carefully balanced approach that effectively bridged both the traditional and highly progressive sides of the institution. While Anne took on an ever-increasing number of official duties, William's focus remained on preparing for the future. Together they brought vital stability and modern adaptability to a monarchy that desperately needed to evolve to meet changing public expectations. Also, in another interview, Anne put her characteristically blunt style on display regarding the challenges facing the Crown. When asked about her brother King, Charles's reported backing for deep research into the royal family's ties to historical slave trade, Anne responded with open scepticism, flatly suggesting that the media had likely exaggerated his actual stance. Her cautious response showed a very measured. She always kept things incredibly cautious, rarely speaking out without hard proof, which stood in sharp contrast to Prince William, who was ready to face the royal family's messy history with genuine transparency. He had to handle tough, direct questions about British imperialism during his controversial tour of the Caribbean. He and Kate Middleton faced major pushback from local politicians and angry citizens who openly demanded cutting ties with the Crown. William acknowledged these intense feelings with real empathy, admitting that the bond between the palace and former colonies was changing forever. His modern attitude proved he understood the sins of the past and the absolute need to build real honest relationships, and while Princess Anne stood for old-school royal duty, William's fresh outlook signalled a future that could bring completely different relationships with those Commonwealth states. So when King Charles prepared for his big coronation, both Anne and William stepped up to give him massive support. Princess Anne took the role of goldstick in weighting an ancient post from medieval times meant to protect the monarch. It showed her total loyalty as she rode in military uniform behind the grand coronation carriage, serving as a fierce symbol of her dedication to guarding and supporting her older brother. In her classic no-nonsense style, she joked that the uniform saved her from any wardrobe drama, showing off her trademark dry wit during this highly formal event. Meanwhile, William and Kate also took centre stage during the coronation, proving how crucial they are to the royal line. Their very presence highlighted where the palace is headed under William's future leadership. The new Prince and Princess of Wales, standing proud with their 3 young kids, painted a picture of a royalty that blends ancient history with a modern, friendly vibe. By slowly introducing their children to the spotlight, William and Kate are quietly preparing the next generation of royals while keeping things down to earth. For William, the goal is to build a royal brand that feels genuinely relevant right now, especially to younger generations who really do not care about old royal customs. Yet, despite trying hard to change, the family still found themselves under intense scrutiny and heavy backlash. The Commonwealth's loyalty to the palace is wavering like never before, and multiple nations, including Jamaica and Belize, want to become independent republics. This trend gained real momentum after Barbados went republic back in 2021. William and Kate's highly publicised Caribbean tour ran straight into this anger, facing loud protests and fierce demands for reparations. William handled it gracefully, knowing these debates were part of a massive global reckoning over the Crown's future. Behind closed doors, the royals also had to deal with serious family drama, especially after Prince Harry and Meghan Markle made the shocking choice to quit as working royals. Their dramatic exit shattered the family dynamic, deeply hurting Charles and William, who had always imagined a future where Harry would stand by them representing the throne. And though Princess Anne was not directly caught up in the Sussexes' messy exit, she saw how much stress it added to an already brutal situation. Meanwhile, Charles faced an agonising choice over granting official prince and princess titles to Harry and Meghan's kids, Archie and Lilibet, a move that could seriously damage the monarchy's slimmed-down image. While his reign marked a massive shift for the family, both Anne and William stayed completely focused on their duties. Anne's dedication to a steady crown combined with William's push to modernise formed a perfect 2-part strategy to survive current and future crises. Even though Anne is in her 70s, her legendary work ethic is unmatched, making her the absolute pillar of the high house. At the same time, William's fresh, modern approach ensures that the palace stays relevant for upcoming generations. Together, they find a way to balance history with change, showing that the palace still has the power to evolve. As the family moves ahead under King Charles, both Anne and William's efforts are crucial to shaping their path. Anne's dependable presence offers a real sense of absolute stability, while William's modern, forward-thinking vision brings hope for a future that actually connects with everyday people. There is no denying the palace is facing massive upheavals, with public mood shifting and constant demands for complete honesty and accountability. Yet, with Anne's down-to-earth style and William's highly progressive modern outlook, the firm might just survive this crisis. So, what do you think about? Share your thoughts on Princess Anne and Prince William's perspectives in the comments section down below if you loved watching. Make sure to like, share and subscribe to our channel for more royal drama, and tap that next video on your screen. You will definitely love it.